My pleasure now to introduce the second panel of the morning. Following this panel, there'll be a break for refreshments. The second panel today is the evolution of naval defense industry in the UAE. The UAE is a relatively new entrant in naval defense industry, but one that with big plans. This session will explore the success of the country is having now and the plans for the future and opportunities for partnership. I'd like to call to join me up here His Excellency Khamis Juma Buamim and Dr. Khaled Almazroui, who's already up here. Again, I'm Bruce Butler from the Navy League.
Would you like to sit in the middle?
It's up to you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we have 3 questions for each panelist this morning. The first one will be for Dr. Kalman. Working with, how does the Abu Dhabi Ship Building position itself as a strategic partner with UAE Armed Forces?
Thank you. As I have said earlier through my presentation, the company was established to be a strategic partner to the UAE Armed Forces. And having all the slides, which we mentioned, the accomplishments, number of ships that have been built, the retrofits, repairs, and maintenance, I think it does indicate how important. We do coordinate with the GHQ, and we play very major partnership. Without them, the company will not exist. And therefore, thanks to God, they realized also the importance of the company and their attention that this company should be capable, should be enhanced, and this is why we are working on their alignment as well as their strategy. So it doesn't play a very major role. Now, what we are doing, we have felt that we have already passed this partnership and understanding. We are doing the same thing with other GCC. Hopefully, after the IDEX, NAVDEX in a few months, we're going to sign a contract with another GCC country also. Supposed to be announced during this exhibition, but for some reason has been postponed. So this is how the relation between shipbuilding, which especially Abu Dhabi Ship Building, and our partners.
Okay. Next question's for you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you are the chairman of Drydocks World and Maritime World. And your question is, working with the armed forces, what does Dubai Drydocks do?
We, in general, we've been actually working with the armed forces for a long time. So far, we repaired, maintained, and retrofit over 160 vessels from around the globe. Mm-hmm. A lot of the vessels we use is from Germany, the US, England, UK, of course, and France and other nations such as the UAE and GCC countries. Our main task force that we have introduced was to ensure that operation maintained while maintenance is done and repair is done. And these are strategic undertaking we took, especially during the recent problem we had in the Somalian coastline due to the terrorism and all that. Many of the ships, although they have to come in for repair and certain dry docking or special operation, they require to maintain certain communication level. The latest one was we had at one stage was the German ship, which is the command center. And when it arrived to the dry dock, the commander requested, is there a possibility that can he retain certain communication level? And we had to adjust operation, and it's going to go into the graveyard. And the graveyard is, of course, takes it down into the ground where the communication level becomes weaker. Mm-hmm. So we had to adjust different ships in order to ensure he has full capability to communicate with his fleet in the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea. And that was highly appreciated. The drive, of course, as a shipyard and as a global partner for many of the navies around the world, is to maintain their ships, maintain operation even across the board, and create value and innovative ideas for them in favor of maximizing their capability and ability during offload repair or in the dock repairs. And that is important for us. That's all.
Okay, great.
Can I just add a point to the same question previously? When you work with the armed forces, you do have different way of working compared to commercial. And the way is that one in two aspects, for shipbuilding as well for services. When you do have shipbuilding, always there are changes. Of course, we have, as a shipbuilder, we have to respect that one. So even though there is a contract, there might be strategic reason to select X weapon over Y. And by that time, maybe you have already done the design, you finish everything. As a shipbuilder and strategic partner, we have to understand this one. So we don't have to go by the rule and by the book and says, no, we cannot do it. Because by the end of the day, we have to keep in mind, we are here and we do exist to satisfy and make sure that the product we're going to deliver to the client meeting their specification. And also we work as a consultant, and sometimes we do a homework, an assignment in a way of, this is exactly what the advantages and disadvantage of X equipment. So we don't go with the suppliers. We do have our capabilities. We do have our experience. Now, when the manufacturer of such equipment, they will sell it in very rosy and nice flowers. But for us, when we go to the partner and to hear what, I mean, like the commercial, I mean, the military clients, we always tell them what are the pros and cons of each system. Now, that one for the shipbuilding. So we have to be flexible. When it comes for services, always the military ships are different than commercial, because you are not only dealing with the platform, you are dealing with the different equipment for the combat system. And that one, it does sometimes needs a time-wise. Moreover, availability of equipment or the spare parts. And the worst one is that they will have very tight schedule. You need to deliver the ship before, because the ship has some missions to go for. And therefore, as a strategic partner, we do have to meet that deadline. Internally at ADSP, we always have to deliver the ship 1 or 2 days before. Why? Because, as I said, again, strategic partner, we have. So we have to understand those requirements. And this is why we have been working with them very smoothly. It's just 2 points I did that. Thank you.
Well, you both said how you're adapting your business model to meet the special needs of the armed forces. Could you give me what your plans are in the future to keep evolving your work with the armed forces?
We integrated a number of our assets in a way where it is deployed them in a way where they become more focused into the maritime security and naval requirements. And this is critical. And we understand the global requirements, and we have now strategically created a global service team where it travels all around the world and do offload during the vessel voyage and during even certain time operational requirement. And we also created a special division at Dubai Maritime City where specialized zones, secured zones, classified under ISPS codes, where these facilities are specifically for military purpose vessels. And as we speak, we have 2 there, and we have another one in the dock. We continuously having almost in a monthly basis, there is always 1 or 2 ships of international Navy into our yards, and they do a different type of work. But the specialization is critical. The knowledge also of the requirement to do certain requirement they have in equipment and capabilities. And this is where we focused in the past few years, and we've been able to create a total alignment between us and the navies and the marine sector, security marine sector on that. And that helped us a lot because it's a two-way learning without a doubt. And it also created a lot of future potentials that we can enhance, and vice versa can be learned from us and from the Navy, because the technology itself is evolving. And at the same time, the knowledge base is expanding, and therefore you have a wider assessment now of risk than before. Even the way the technology evolved, that risk management is becoming important, and that's also inducted into our business model in order to ensure all facilities or all repairs or all retrofit and all of this is done not only according to the book, but meets the today's requirement and the tomorrow's needs of the Navy.
Thank you. We just addressed the specialization for naval warship maintenance and services and risk management. Which business unit is more important at Abu Dhabi Shipbuilding or services to mitigate risk and to keep evolving your performance with warships and perhaps foreign navies?
Sure. As I said also before, naval shipbuilding is the most important among the other business units, where we have 4 business units. We have the naval shipbuilding, the small boat construction or medium size. We have the surfaces as well as the combat system, which will be given to a company called Frontiers as an asset of ADSP. For us right now, more concentration of surfaces, because as I have said, surfaces is the trend that should be given to companies in order to maintain. And as Mr. Khamis said, we have the same thing, the same situation. We are not only servicing our client, our navies, but we have also international clients who are coming to our shipyards, deploying team. Now, when I say about services, it means we do have a system called 24/7. And that's a team is responsible to provide the services to our clients and mainly to UAE, wherever their ships are. Wherever, I'm talking about. So they have to report immediately, do the needful. If there is a need to work with partners, we do that one. And therefore, more concentration is being given by ADSP and services. And this is what we do expect, that in the coming years, about 35% to 40% of our revenue will be from services. Now, the shipyard has been built to accommodate, as I said, certain ships sizes, but now we realize that the modernization of the ships, and I'm not talking only about the military one as well as the commercial one, we realize is the fleets are bigger, different requirements, and therefore we are studying right now different options of or just to satisfy the needs of those clients. So services became the major one, and as I have said before, TLCM providing the through life capability to our client. Now, when I talk about this one, I'm not talking about just repairs. It's management of their warehouses in different bases, the coordination, purchasing of the spare parts, technical assistant, management of all those aspects, people who are will be experts just working to put exactly the real process of how to enhance the technology, the IT as well, all those things to be. What we are trying to do with, again, working with the partners, that we try to provide through live capability or services that the commanders, the captains of the ships, they don't have to go through the manual process of finding the readiness of the ship. It's a matter of if they have an iPad or their computer, within a few seconds, they can know wherever their ships are located, they can know when is the time for these maintenance, repairs, what's the status of the ship in terms of the combat system, management, engines, generators, as well as platform. And this is exactly our strategy, how to help and enhance and make our clients, by the end of the day, equipped with the latest technology in that field.
In your presentation, you talked about hiring locals or the Emiratization of the local labor force. Can you expand on what you're doing with that?
Sure. A year and a half, of course, I mean, previously, even before, as we have seen in the video, there were some people, graduates from high school, who have been adapted and start working with ADSP. In the same time, that was one group. We have also tried to bring experienced people who have studied abroad in different universities, as well as in UAE, and they have master's degree in engineering, 5 years experience. We have put them all, I mean, about 7 of them, just to be the deputy program managers. And that one started 1.5 years ago. I'm proud today to say that 1 month ago, or 1.5, one of those people have been assigned to be the program manager for a new project. So now we are talking about different projects, hopefully will be coming after IDEX, and all of those projects will be managed by local from UAE. So a company, even for security purpose, you need to have people from this country to run and manage the ship or the yards in terms of shipbuilding, in terms of services. Everybody knows there is some security requirements, some confidential information requirements. If you don't have the people from this country who can run and can manage, you will find loyalty, but it will not be the same as to have. So this is why we are working with partners. Now, one of the requirements that with any partnership we do, Emiratization is top priority. And this is how we are working, even with the GHQ. I do thank them because they are also supporting us with that one. And therefore, our consideration to have all locals. So we have managed that one. As I said earlier, hopefully within 3 to 4 years, we'll have 30 to 40% of the management. And when I talk about management, I don't talk only about the administrative work. Very easy, you can get hundreds of them. I mean the experienced people who are technicians, engineers who are working in the field, they should be local. And mostly the combat system, full integration, trials, all you name it, installations, and those are the people. Even one of the requirements, and I think I saw some of the faces here from our partners, that to have the workshops, that they have it abroad to be brought here, so the technology should be brought here. If honest, if we don't see that one is coming, we will, even we're going to stop their cooperation, because our attention is to create capability of the UAE locals. This is exactly it's not only our strategy, it's our leadership. And we have to do that one. If we don't follow that one, neither Khamis or I will be sitting and talking to you today. And that's exactly.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Same question to you. Dubai Drydocks, local hiring and the future of developing the workforce here in the Emirates.
Let me go back. We are a multinational company. The truth has to be said. In Dubai, in the UAE, we have over 13,000 people working for us. In the Far East, we have over 7,800 in Indonesia and in Singapore. The UAE programs we have, of course, are very fluid in many ways. We have many of our programs directed at technical side, mainly, enforcing the requirement of the need to have certain caliber of nationals in certain programs to be developed as leaders of the company for the future. And we do the same in the Far East. We do it in Indonesia also. We have certain training for the nationals of Indonesia in order also to take over their businesses and so on. The question of the national segment coming into the workforce is critical for many of the companies and has a number of different programs. But also we have a very fluid requirement, and that is we've been pushing hard for national to be inducted into the maritime industry as a whole. The maritime industry in the UAE is a large industry. It's actually multifacets kind of working opportunities in it. But unfortunately, there are limitations here and there. But these are not due to, because people's knowledge is not there. Once the knowledge is there, and I believe that will automatically transpire to become, a future employment, they will understand it. We have the leadership program, which started a few years back, and that's been very progressive. We had the recruitment of minimum of 12 per year requirement in the company. And we established also ad hoc recruitment panels, as we call it. From time to time, there are specialized requirement for the company, or certain knowledge is required, and they are targeted headhunting processes. But these are designed in order to meet certain requirement, and also ensure that the capability of these people meet most, if not all, the requirement that we have from our present workforce. So we don't differentiate, but we collaborate and incorporate concept we use. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
That concludes the panel today. There's a half an hour break, and then there's 2 panels in the afternoon. So please listen up when we call people back in for the last 2 panels. Thank you very much.